Hello, Mom and Dad Me World. So I want to talk about this right here, and I've got a little bit of gaff tape on it, but this is the Sony 15mm APS-C lens, and it is mounted to this right here. This is a Sony a7 IV, and yes, I've got gaff tape on this also, but this is currently the setup I have been using, and it's been working out very well for a couple reasons, but one is going to be, first of all, this can get to 22.5 millimeters on a full frame lens. I believe that is correct. Yes, so 15 millimeter on APS-C to get the full frame equivalent, multiply that by 1.5, so 22.5 millimeter and about a 2.1 aperture. So this is a very good lens. So I have had the 20 millimeter Sony, and I actually did not like that lens. It was a 20 millimeter Sony G lens. It had quite a bit of distortion, and the distortion was I did not like it, let's just say that. And I did see another fellow YouTuber, Michael Nguyen. Michael, he is I saw his videos, and he was using the 11 millimeter 1.8 on his Sony full frame, I believe, and I believe that was giving him around a 16 or so millimeter point of view. And I just thought, I don't think I really need 16 because I've got another. So this is the 16 to 35 f4 right here, and I have used it, and I actually really like this lens, but this lens is a lot smaller than that 16 to 35. A little bit on the sharper side too, this 15 millimeter lens. So that 22.5, yes, there is still going to be some distortion on the sides, but it's actually quite good. So quite good, sharp, and it's got that field of view that I like with that 22.5 millimeter. Yes, in an ideal world, if we could afford that 24 millimeter G master lens, that f1.4 G master, that would be very nice, but that is one very expensive lens. This is also a tad bit of a newer lens also, and I've just noticed I've actually played with the aperture ring, and I will want to make sure I get that back to auto. But yeah, there was one time when I remember I was at a restaurant just doing a video there, and I had set the aperture to 16, and it was quite dark, and so I didn't know I set it to 16, but I've got it back on auto right now. But that video did not turn out the way I wanted it to, and I'm filming you right now on the iPhone, the 16 Pro Max. So the thing with this too is it's got a very nice close focus distance, so even if I'm filming this close, it will still be able to focus, where the iPhone, if you film this close, it wants to revert back to the 0.5 millimeter, the ultra wide lens. But with this lens, I can get nice and close, and it's still going to focus, which is really nice. And with this being about a 2.1 millimeter, so it says it's a 1.4 millimeter on the aperture, and you can see that right about there. But without being a 1.4 millimeter on APS-C full frame, well, it's going to be about what, 2.1 millimeters or 2.1, excuse me, on the f-stop to f2.1. So but overall, this has been a very good lens. There are some drawbacks with it. As I said, that distortion, when you are using this for photos, it does take very good photos, but when you are using it for photos, when you do view the photos in RAW, you'll notice the image will flatten out. The image definitely changes. You'll see the shape change in the image. So that's a little bit of a negative, but there's a lot of in-camera corrections done for the distortion. But I mean, it is a 22.5 millimeter lens, that is to be expected, so you know, it's not bad. But then the other thing too is going to be the price, and I know there's going to be a lot of other lenses out there, third party. The older Sigma 16 millimeter 1.4 is going to be brought up also, but I do like how this is a first party Sony lens. This is a genuine Sony lens. You do have a button here, your aperture ring, and then also your autofocus manual focus button on the side too, the switch. And the Sigma, you can get the Sigma I think for about half the price of this lens, but we did get this lens on sale, and this is again a very, very good lens. We got it for, I would say, maybe a couple $100 more after the sale price than that Sigma lens, so you do get that little bit more. So the Sigma's a 16, this is a 15, just a tad little bit closer. And then this also does have like breathing compensation if you wanted, but that's the other thing. It has very, very little breathing. If you're like up against the wall, your framing doesn't change a whole lot. So that is a plus and advantage with this. Again, the price is high for an APS-C lens, but again, it's not like, you know, $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 high that you would if you were paying for like that 24mm G Master. And I think this is a very, very good balance. And yes, I know I'm losing megapixels when I'm using this for photo mode. That's okay, I know I am. But then the other cool thing is 4K 60, 4K 24, because this is already a crop lens, it doesn't change my field of view. If I were to put a full frame lens on here, so I've got this Tamron lens also, this is a 28 to 200, this is a mega zoom lens, and then I've got the Sony Zeiss f4 16 to 35. So on the 4K 24 recording on this camera right here, this A7 IV will give me a true 16, but if I switch it to 4K 60 mode, again, it's gonna crop right in, so 1.5 times, so that 16 mil is now a 24mm. Again, 22.5 on this one, already cropped in with 4K 60. So yeah, you don't have to worry about that 4K 60 and the 4K 24 field of view. So just want to give you my thoughts, what I have been using with our camera setup, and I do like how compact and light it is. I've just got this Peak Design strap that I do like to use it with, and it's just a very, very easy carry, much lighter than the 16 to 35. Not as much versatility, but again, f4 on this and f2.1 on this, so a little bit better low light, but it's been overall very, very good light lens. I've really, really enjoyed using it. It's fast aperture, the focal length I like with that 22.5, not as wide as that 20, but yet not as bad of distortion on that, or on this lens as opposed to Sony 20mm. Price isn't too bad, especially compared to the full frame G Master equivalent, and I overall just really, really like the quality and video quality, photo quality I have been getting with this Sony 15mm G lens, 15mm f1.4 APS-C G lens. It's been very, very good. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Like, share, comment, subscribe. It all helps out our channel. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye for now. I don't really know what this is going to look like because, well, my watch turned off. So my viewfinder, I'll have to go on this side to see what it looks like. Okay, bye for now. I'm stopping my ramble.